What's up, YouTube? Today we are bringing the Platinum Tremor back to the page. As you can see, it is in the driveway. My dad did bring it to the house. As you can see, he's jacking with something right now. He's getting into the truck. But we are going to be doing the install, startup, and review of the Banks Ram Air, as well as the Banks 5-inch DPF back exhaust. So as you can see, the Banks 5-inch DPF back is right here. We have already noticed that possibly we're going to have to cut this one. It connects right to the back of the DPF, but we are not sure yet. One cool thing about this Banks, though, is that you do have the capability of axle dumping it because of how they configure this piping. This is going to be your rear piece here, but you can keep that piece off and go here and just go with an axle dump. So I will show you that. But one thing he was really liking about this kit was that it did come with a black tip. And so the truck is silver, the iconic silver with the black wheels, because it is the Tremor package. And this kit actually comes with a black tip. So as you can see, here's my dad and my little brother here. Welcome them back to the channel. But Banks does supply a what is supposed to be 6 and/or 6.5 inch tip. Not sure. I got a 6-inch tip on my truck, but it is bigger, so maybe it's because it's oblong. I'm not sure, but we'll be doing a startup after just exhaust. We'll be doing a startup after the Ram Air, and then we're going to do a little bit of test drive, see if it changed the tone in the truck or anything. So stay tuned. We're really excited for this video. Okay, so we are probably about 15 minutes into the install of the 5-inch DPF exhaust, and as you can see, they've got this midsection here, and it's just really double flanged. You're going to have 3 bolts there and 3 bolts here. This is going to be your DPF side. Real easy, just 6 15 mil bolts. You will have to do a little convincing with this back side to get it off because of the studs. They both go the same way. We're not sure if we're gonna have to use these gaskets just yet, but I will let y'all know later in the video just to make sure, so we don't have any exhaust leaks or anything. But we're gonna go ahead and get the exhaust out of the top of the rear end, and we will go ahead and go with the installation of the new exhaust. So we're gonna actually see if we're gonna have to cut anything. And one thing to mention, though, anytime you're doing exhaust, it's really a good idea to lube these up. Just throw some penetrating oil on them or something. It really helps with getting these sliding, because obviously, you know, when you're driving, they're not supposed to slide out, and they are raised here. But usually the way that I get them off is I just spray them with some penetrating oil, get a screwdriver, give them a little convincing, and they usually come out. But the good thing about this truck is it's brand new, got less than 1,000 miles on it, so the undercarriage of this truck is not dirty at all. I know when I did my truck, I came out looking pretty bad sometimes. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get this exhaust off, and we'll start with the install of the next one. Okay, so this is the exhaust that you're going to be pulling out of the truck. This is the stock exhaust from Ford. So like I said, your 6 bolts are going to be here. This is going to be your DPF side. You're just going to disconnect there, and then you're only going to have 3 exhaust hangers. You'll have 2 here, and you will have another one here. Like I said, just throw some penetrating oil on them. They usually come right off. So the nice thing about what Ford does, though, is on this side, which is going to be your DPF side, they give you gaskets that are just like this, right? So this is a really nice multi-layer steel gasket, and it's just going to prevent you from having to buy new ones. One thing that we did notice when pulling this exhaust off, though, is that Ford actually put a bung of some type in here that's got a cap. Whether that's for California emissions, I'm not sure, but Banks actually has the same plug on it that's going to be right there. So we honestly are not too sure what it's for. We're thinking something emissions wise, but we'll do a little comparison right here as to what you can see diameter wise, and that 5-inch compared to that stock 3.5 is a big difference. So this truck's actually gonna be able to breathe a whole lot better than what it did. And in my opinion, the black exhaust is gonna look better, the black exhaust tips. So we'll go ahead and start the installation. This, just a reminder though, this is a 4-door short bed, and with this Banks exhaust, I'm thinking that they accommodate for also being a long bed. So more than likely we're gonna have to do some cutting, but I will let y'all know, and I'll actually get some measurements just in case y'all run into the same issue on these 22s. So let's get to it. All right, so we do have the exhaust mocked up, and like I said, Banks does supply this middle piece longer than it's supposed to be. So I'll show you that here in a second, and we'll take some measurements actually. But man, the black tip looks really good. It really complements the black wheels. As you can see, the full 5-inch exhaust goes in pretty much no problem. Just your hanger right there, you can kind of see it with your 2 hangers over here. So like I said though, it does come longer. As you can see, we've got it held up with a jack stand right now, just kind of mocking it up. So we are going to have to cut this piece, and then we'll fit it all. We'll get exhaust clamps on it, and then we will do a first initial startup and see how it sounds. But I think it's actually going to sound really good, because you got quite a bit of this exhaust that it's going to now be 5 inches. So as you can see though, DPF and all are still intact. Looks like a space shuttle down here, but yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so we do have the whole exhaust mocked up. We have the piece cut. The measurement that I'm going to tell you for that midsection back there though is going to dictate where this tip is. So if you don't like where this tip is, you can change your measurement over there and it'll dictate where this goes. But we think where it's at looks the best for this truck. So we did not have any issues with clearance on exhaust hangers, spare tires, shocks, rear end, anything, sticking this 5-inch exhaust in there. But as you can see down here, we are all mocked up. We are on the flange there. We're cut there. That measurement is going to be 18 3/4. I will throw a picture in to show you exactly what I'm talking about, but it's going to be from the back of this flange, from the Banks exhaust, all the way to here. We butted the whole thing up so that way we had the most exhaust in there where we wouldn't get any exhaust leak or anything like that. We wanted to get all the play out of it. So we're going to take it all back down. We're going to put exhaust clamps on, and then we're going to be doing our startup. But it is installed. We are probably 45 minutes to an hour into the install. That's including pulling the stock exhaust down, mocking this up, and getting that measurement to cut. So all in all, this exhaust is pretty bolt up and go. So we'll get everything tightened up and we'll do a first startup. All right, so the whole exhaust is buttoned up and ready for the initial startup. One thing I will mention with this Banks exhaust though, as you can see here on this clamp, you need to get it to the very edge of your pipe that's sliding over your other joint, mainly because this clamp is not wide enough to clamp efficiently if you have it further down. We ran into that problem when trying to get the tip where we wanted it. We noticed that the tip was real loose, and that clamp was giving us problems. It's just a clamp that comes over the axle. But like I said, we cut this to our specified dimension. Everything is good there. And I really like these hangers compared to the hangers that Ford does, because they have it all on the square tubing and such. But like I said, there is that plug that's up there, so I don't know if that's for California emissions or what, but we're all buttoned up and we will do a startup. And all right, so the install is completely done. As you can tell from the sound clip, you can hear a little more turbo in it, and I'm thinking that is because there is a rear resonator that is not in the truck anymore, which is going to be this one here. But my dad is taking the truck around the block right now, so I appreciate y'all watching. The next video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and separate these into 2 videos. We are going to now do the install on the ram air intake from Banks. So look for that link in the description, and we'll do a full install and review on that one similar to this one. So appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoyed.